Hey everyone, welcome back to your Dawn of Autonomy podcast. I'm Don Zolda, your host and the CEO of P3 Tech Consulting. It is May 1st, everybody, and that means we are in a new month, and this one is dedicated to safe and secure skies and sponsored by Airspace Link. And today we have our special guest from the company who leads it, Michael Healander. So welcome so much to the show, Michael.
Hey, Don. Good to see you. We were just together last week, so just a continuation.
Yeah, we were just talking before the show about how we're all just kind of catching our breath from AUVSI's Exponential in San Diego last week. I know Airspace Link had an incredible booth with awesome coffee, and Michael was on the stage multiple times. Colby Free from the company was a big part of our Law Tech Connect workshop. And you guys, again, thank you for sponsoring as a friend of Law Tech Connect again this year. Really couldn't put on that event without you guys, and showed up in force for our social hour. It was just such an amazing week. But a big part of AUVSI Expo and really what we're talking about now is autonomy, because Michael, I think you would agree that the future is all about autonomy, and frankly, autonomy is going to make our skies even safer, I think. And of all people, I believe Airspace Link and you can speak to this. So before we get into this, let me, for those that don't know you, Michael, if you could give us kind of that quick background to set the stage of how you're leading Airspace Link.
Yeah, so I've been in this industry over 6 years now. Doesn't sound that long, but I'm kind of surprised. But my background, co-founders, and a lot of the people that work at Airspace Link come from solving complex problems using geospatial technology. So we usually work with experts in the industry, figure out what the problems are, and we knew integrating drones into the national airspace and into communities was going to be a large geospatial problems, UTMs, having to figure out how to make sure recreational pilots are flying in the right places at the right time, Part 107 rules, waiver process, safety systems, all of that is a big geospatial problem. And we've been solving a lot of those problems for the past 2 decades. Whether it be, our company built out a system that's in the Delta app today. So if you have the Delta app and you are inside of a Delta terminal, has indoor routing and positioning. A lot of the guys on my team, we built that system. It's called Geometry, that is now the indoor positioning and routing system. And a lot of the apps people have today, and even in the Target app, the indoor stores we built out. So that's our background. But then applying those to rules and regulations in GovTech, and now we have experts in the UAS industry and helping them solve these problems as well. So that's our DNA and our background.
I love that, and I love that you infused law and regulation into everything you're doing. And by the way, everybody out there, fun fact, today, May 1st, is Law Day. Many of you may not have known that, but as a lawyer, that is something near and dear to my heart. The American Bar Association celebrates this worldwide, and can't move technology forward without the right laws, policies, and regulations. And you've, again, infused that into everything you're doing, and I think that's really key. So we have a really cool picture of your team, and I want you to just to talk really quickly about here they are, all wearing hard hats. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so we just moved our headquarters it's called Michigan Central, in the Book Depository building in downtown Detroit, and it's a mobility hub for ground and air systems. And we had the opportunity to be one of the first companies to move in here. And again, we're Detroit's known for automotive. It's their way of diversifying, and we have the top floor and just built out our office. And now we have an operations center and some other capabilities here at the building, actually building drone ports on the roof. So again, we don't build drones or fly them, but we build in the systems for operating them, and now starting to become a test location.
So just in the not even 5 minutes we've been talking, I already learned things. Number one, about these incredible apps you've built outside of the drone world. I didn't even know about the Delta one and the Target one.
Yeah.
And then that you're building drone ports on your roof right now. By the way, everybody, Michael and Airspace Link have been great friends to this show. We'll drop the link to his previous shows. I've written articles also about Airspace Link and white papers. So we'll drop those to y'all along the way. And just a real quick reminder, we are live. So we know you're out there. Say hi, ask your questions. We're going to do something really unique and fun right now.
All right.
Michael, you are in a new location since we last spoke. You just said that. Give us the tour.
All right. Well, let me see what I can do. We'll do a partial tour because we'd be here for a half hour. I would love to go to the roof and show you around, but
oh my God, that would have been cool.
Well, we'll see. I'd have to go in the elevator. And I don't know.
Yeah, you probably lose signal and then it'll get all gooned up. So
all right, so I'm going to try and go slow so it doesn't jump around too much.
Looking good right now. So wait a minute, before you go further, Michael, can you point the camera to the sky because you've got little cloud lights.
Yes, we do.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
And then if you know our data system, it's a hexagon data model, and even our floor is hexagons. I don't know if you can see.
You've got branding and themes throughout. This is awesome. Yep.
And then we have one of our partners, Sunflower Labs. We have our APIs and authorization system built into it. And this is built into the roof as well. So it's a security drone that is a drone in a box. I don't know if you can see that.
Look at this. Yeah, it's moving. So Sunflower Labs, I've seen them at shows and I want to get to know them better. So when did you start partnering with them?
Over a year ago. And now when this drone takes off, it does an airspace check, uses our APIs, and then their customers, when they sell the system, it uses our system. So when they go to authorize a flight through their platform, it connects to Airspace Link's LANC system. And if they have a waiver to fly different rule sets, they use that as well. So just an example of a partner.
Is this the first OEM where you've directly integrated with their product?
No, we have quite a few more. So we have a lot of APIs running. I don't know if I can say live, but quite a few companies have embedded our technology into their OEMs or into their software for different use cases. And we'll talk about that a little bit later about what use cases.
So are you, Michael, are you in the lobby right now of your building?
I'm in my office.
Okay.
And it's pretty big. So I'm just gonna show this room. The lights come on.
Oh, I can see it. So what is that on the wall? Is that the wall?
Yeah, we're deploying a 3-mile radius of radar communication networks. It's called the Detroit Air Advanced Air Mobility Innovation Region. And that's on our wall right now. So as operators and operations and customers are flying, we have an area that it's kind of like our war room of what's happening.
Oh wow, that's live?
No, that's wallpaper. It just
oh my God, that is awesome. By the way, maybe a HGTV tip for you. I've seen actually showers where they have wallpaper like that instead of tile in the shower with like some kind of laminate over it. I'm just saying, I think the Healander household needs one of those in their bathroom.
I think you're right. Well, you wouldn't believe it or not, I have hexagons for lights in my garage. So.
Oh, I love it. All right. So you're walking us now to where?
To the operations center in the back of the room. Well, you can see, I think.
Yeah, we can totally see.
Our developers are 25% of our we have 25 software developers, and we got some co-founders here. This is Anna. This is
Hi, Anna. Great to see you.
We're live.
Oh, you got a puppy in the office. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's Murph.
Oh.
So,
hey, you know what? I want to work there. Hi.
So they have no idea that we're running live. So you can see all the people operating.
I can, and some of your teammates here I did meet last week at Expo.
Okay.
So that's super cool. Now you've got something that looks to be moving, computer-like thing on the wall there. What are we looking at there?
So this is our operations center. I don't know what we're running right there, but it has 4 screens. With speaker systems, and then what we'll do is we'll move the different monitors will have different data, whether it be weather. In this case, it looks like it's running full AirHub portal. I couldn't tell you what it's doing. I didn't expect to walk over here. But
well, that's really cool though. So wow, amazing. What else do you want to show us as we're walking around here?
We got we have drone racing in the office. I don't know if you can see all the hula hoops.
Are you kidding? You guys play?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of drones that we race through the office for training, for fun.
That, like I said, I wanna work there. Now let's brag about your team and your you've actually been recognized, right, for your workplace environment.
Yeah, we have multiple awards for our diversity, our equity, inclusion, our makeup of our leadership team, and just our company,
Yeah.
and our work and our benefits, everything. We've done a really good job. We have excellent head of people operations. She's done a great job of helping us build our company. Again,
Yeah.
from 3 people to almost 60 now.
Wow, that's amazing.
And
All
then
right.
that's cornhole. Again,
You got your own branded cornhole. Hey, Michael, you got to bring that to Expo next time. People will be playing that in the hallway, my friend.
yeah. All right. I'll start heading back. We do have like some pictures here. Here's the team in Dubai. Our team,
Oh,
we're doing
wow.
a project in Dubai. So
Yeah.
we've done some international work.
So you got a little wall of fame there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm making my way back.
Yep. Yep.
Well, this is the hold on, one of the team.
Hey, guys.
And then the best part,
Yeah.
this is under lock and key though, but it's the bar area.
Oh, man. That's amazing. Understandable why it's under lock and key.
Yeah.
Because you know what, Michael? It's always 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
Now,
All right.
as Michael, that was amazing. And as you sit down, there's a drone hanging over your head. Tell us about that.
Gosh, of course I can't remember the name of it. This is one that we'll just use for testing. We
Yeah.
actually a Zing package delivery system added to it. It's out in the
Okay.
hallway. And that's just for doing small operations around the building, and we can do food delivery. And gosh, I forget the name of them. My team's gonna get me but we have a name for them, and we use it for testing.
Well, if they're on LinkedIn or somewhere, they can drop it in the chat, and then we'll catch up to that. Not a big deal, but
we name
so
them, so that's why.
So the idea with drone ports on the roof is you guys are going to have real world operations,
Yeah.
deliveries flying off of there.
Yeah. So there's an announcement came out about 4 months ago, and we've been building out the systems. We just moved into what's called phase 1. Phase 0 was figuring out what infrastructure, what radio communication network, what radar, what ADSB systems, all of the hardware. So Michigan Central, in the state of Michigan, MDOT is investing millions into integration of drones. So we pitched that we'll build out a 3-mile radius around our office.
Yeah.
All the infrastructure and funding, where we have businesses here in this 3-mile radius that wants drone use cases. Drones as a first responder, linear inspection, food delivery, medical delivery, shielded operations, and a few others.
Yeah.
And over the next 2 years, we need to get operators running in a safe environment and actually provide visual observers on these rooftops, provide space for them to operate with a customer, get their waivers, build their safety cases. We have a FAA project manager. We have different teams, hardware team, software team, OEM team, building out this ecosystem. And if they get a waiver, they'll get a waiver with a customer, and then the state is looking to expand outside this 3-mile radius with more funding. So it's really cool that we're able to do this at our office and provide that. And there's a big investment going on. Multiple states are doing. We're helping out in Texas and a few others, but
Right.
there's a bit of a race to help lower the barrier to advanced operations and make sure that they have the best safety systems possible. And Airspace Link is this software systems that are providing the glue to connect, policy and laws and regulation and safety. Safety system. Whoops.
You know it's live when drones are dropping out of the sky.
Right as I said safety systems. So that was funny. So yeah, that's all happening here right now. There's a great opportunity, to tell you what, for operators and many OEMs to actually get funding. There's activation fund up here as well too. help get them up and running in a commercial environment. It's not a test site. It is a test site, but it's more of a commercialization, kind of that next step out of a test site
Yeah.
is to come and operate with a customer. And we have a list of customers here from, I can't disclose them, but they are available, and we're matching up the right operators and OEMs with the right customers, and then providing them the funding and the infrastructure and the systems to support them as best as possible. Because ultimately, if they're not successful, we're not going to be as successful as an industry either. So we're making sure that we get funding that goes to as many of our operators as possible to get them going.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think the buzzword of the day or the terminology is operational evaluation. So that is something that Jeffrey Vincent from the FAA and Hui Tran from NASA were saying from the stage live at Amsterdam Drone Week a couple weeks back was, hey, for example, the Texas Key site in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, this is not R&D or research and development. This is not test and evaluation, T&E. This is an operational evaluation. These will be real world operations, and they really foot stomp that. And it sounds like you're doing this in Minnesota as well. So you heard it here, I think first, everybody. So make sure you're reaching out to Michael if you want to get involved in Minnesota with all of these operations that we're doing.
I'm going to yell at you, Michigan. Not Minnesota.
Oh, Michigan. I'm sorry, Michigan. Oh,
okay.
Why was I thinking Minnesota? I don't know.
That's
I need
right.
more coffee apparently. So everybody knows this is live when we're, screwing things up.
What's fun?
So, yeah, that's what makes it fun. But so let's kind of dig a little deeper though. So you walked us through the office. You told us a little about the background and your team. I want to talk about AirHub Portal because this is, you had, let's call it a couple predecessor products. You've rolled them into this, let's call it bigger and better one-stop shop. So tell us about AirHub Portal and why you created it.
Yeah. So just like any new company, you learn. You build a product, and we built 2 products, and they had different personas. And then the personas started needing the same tools as the other. And it became, okay, we need to start to consolidate. We need to be able to manage the code easier. So we re-architected, it's called PWA. It's Progressive Web Application that allows us to build one system and deploy to all platforms. So that's number one. How do we scale changes? When someone says they want to change and it's complicated, it's just so you know, we're at a point right now where we're at today is there's probably an update a day on average across all our platforms. Sometimes there's 5, sometimes there's a big update, but it's a constant. With that many developers and that much feedback we're getting, we'll talk about the amount of users that we have now, requires that type of speed. So there's a whole architecture change. That was one. 2 is we need to build a platform. So it's AirHub Portal, but it's a platform, and it's built off of that platform, and it's to support the different levels of operators. So we have level 1 to 6 in our UAS integration framework. Think of level 1 as a recreational pilot, just simple exploring and just knowing somewhat how to fly.
Just basically also needs to know where they're not supposed to fly, where they're permitted to fly. And Michael, have you incorporated, I assume, remote ID now that that's fully, in effect into your system then for the recreational pilots too?
Yeah, so think it this way. Level 1 is before you fly out. So now our system supports before you fly. You go to the FAA website, you're using our app, and that's just to explore and make sure you're flying correctly. Then level 2 would be you have a LANC authorization. You want to authorize in controlled airspace. You're doing a bit more. You're creating an account. That's level 2. But in level 2, for certain customers, it depends on how they're using remote ID. Is it public safety? Things like that. So now we partner. We actually have a marketplace now within the app where, different sensor companies can put in their sensors and we can tie into them. So if it's hidden level down in Texas or D-drone up in Detroit or, White Fox in Ontario, California, our system actually, the data looks the same, where it's coming from different sources of UAS traffic and,
awesome.
And what's that used for. So we're a very generic platform that then that data is used for, one community is using it for encroachment of their water supply. So when a drone flies over their water supply, they actually get an alert to whoever that district manager is, and they pull up the video camera to see if there was any tablets or anything dropped into their water supply. It's pretty neat how people are using it for very different things. And again, that's what makes us a platform. We create solutions on it, and our partners do too, or we feed their data in, and then and that's it. So we consolidated everything into this portal, which is built on a platform that then is made for 4 different user types. Operators use it today for free. We have managers that manage a portfolio of operators and drones. And then we have planners, which is our newest one that we're launching. That is for planning and planning out, even for planning department, air traffic control planning. And then we have administrators for administrating the systems across their portfolio and so on. So there's a lot jammed in there. And that's how we have to organize it. It's a platform that if you have a drone and you need to stay compliant, or you need to provide policies within your own company and enforce them, then you can configure it within our system and send your drone pilots out to use it. Or you tie into larger infrastructure systems, whether it be out in North Dakota or in Texas or Michigan.
Yeah. So everybody, I did do a worldwide release of the AirHub portal.
You did.
With Colby free, actually. I'm going to say it was back in February. We'll get everybody that link. But Colby walks everybody through the stakeholders, the users, the 6 different levels. So if you want a much deeper dive, I'd suggest go to that video. I'd also say you can find it as well on my website, P3 Tech Consulting, under product releases. So check that out if you really want to dig deep into AirHub Portal. Just go to their website and start playing around. As you said, Michael, it's free. So I think that's amazing that you do that. Now, I want to back up because you said in level 1, it includes the Fly Safe program. Did I say that right? So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so let me break it up a little bit. The Before You Fly app is a federal app. The Fly Safe program is actually a bit of our target market, and that is governments, state and local governments, especially cities lately. Cities, so think of it this way: cities are buying drones pretty dramatically. Drones as first responder, GIS programs, inspection.
Highway DOTs are using them for rock slides here in Colorado, avalanches, accidents, all kinds of things.
Search and rescue. Swift water rescue. We're hearing roof inspections. It's tremendous, and it's saving lives, and it's actually reducing dangerous jobs, and it's making supporting government workers to be able to do more with less if they're trained on the technology. So what's happening with local governments is they want to have a drone program, but it's pretty scary for a city. You have privacy concerns. What are the policies? How do we register them? What licenses do we have? What are the rules? How do we use it in an emergency? So we had to create a program that is our software system, AirHub Portal, but it's actually customized to communities, and it's not just the software. There's a customer success person that's tied to that account that then helps them take them through a journey. I think City of Ontario is a great example. They went from, when we first met them 4 years ago, they bought our software. They helped us design this program because now they have 60 pilots in the city and over 30 drones. It's just amazing how they've grown into a drone ecosystem and internal use and external. But that's what the Fly Safe program is. Without getting into the details, it's a software package and system and process to take communities from whatever level they're at in complexity and move them along a process to help streamline even managing your drones. Some of these cities have so many drones and operators, just fleet management and reporting and auditing and accountability is all built into the platform now.
Yeah, so I apologize, I did screw that up. So level 1 you talked about, that's the Before You Fly, which is the FAA and government app. Your Fly Safe program, if I was to characterize it, it's almost like a hyper customized regional or local program where you work with the city or the county or the municipality to build that out of what that looks like. And Michael, I remember looking at this on your website and working through some of it and seeing some of the communities on there. going to their site. And it was really cool because there's a public facing aspect of it, where if I'm Joe Q Public, I can look, and then I can also see, for example, notifications from the city that, hey, there's a, let's call it a TFR equivalent, or we're working with the FAA. Yeah, a local advisory. Thank you. That's the perfect terminology, obviously. And then, from the government side of it, I can be pushing that information out. So you've got this communication link that you've truly created a digital online community around that drone ecosystem in that area, unlike really, I think, anybody else has done. So hats off to you with FlySafe. How many programs do you have right now? Because Ontario, you said you started 4 years ago. You've been doing this for a while. And you mentioned some other cities, but if you want to share a little bit, or maybe another success story, and then we'll talk about some other things.
Yeah, today we're onboarding over 20 cities this quarter, right, or last quarter. So it might not sound like a lot, but those are decent sized licenses, decent sized programs, and they are. Some of those communities are have one drone and want to get want air. Here's the funny part: they have one drone and no drone pilots, and they want package delivery in their city. It's like there's this massive
disconnect. But you know what? It's good that they're talking to you up front.
Yeah.
Because then they'll just do it right. It's probably a bigger problem, if you will, to have a group that has a bunch of drones. They're all over the place. They don't have, safety management system or any kind of fleet management. They don't know they're not talking to the public. That's kind of your nightmare scenario. Yeah. To work with a group from kind of scratch, I would think is a beautiful thing to help them do it right from the start.
Yeah, it is. So we see it all. We see it all to the biggest cities in the world that we're trying to pull together, and they're just doing crazy stuff. But they want to keep doing even bigger stuff. So we're trying to catch up and get them into a process and a flow where they're skipping steps. It's almost like they're like jumping up here and not fulfilling foundational things. So that's what we had to learn, is how does a platform take someone from a recreational pilot and they can keep growing all the way up into, someday we will have level 6, which is autonomous taxis, air taxis, all of that running within this platform. It doesn't exist anywhere in the world yet, but we're taking a process and setting a platform and getting communities on a trajectory to help support the integration, because federal is really laying out a great framework, but the communities are still ultimately where the business is done, and that's where it's going to be most successful. So
now you've recently partnered with the city of Carson. I think that's in California, if I'm correct there. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, that was interesting. I think they wanted to buy Air Portal, and someone, city council says, "Oh, we need a policy," and it always pops up. Do we need an ordinance or policy? And we say, well, you don't necessarily need an ordinance, but it was really neat. We spent 3 months maybe on that, and we engaged with their attorneys, with the FAA attorneys. Like, we really dug in with them. It was televised multiple times, but it was neat to go through that experience. We've done smaller ones to just get them done. This one was a heavy lift, which is a great template. And people get scared about policy, but what it is and what the policies that we're mostly working on, it's internal policy. How is the city going to use drone? How are we going to handle privacy issues? How them as operators? So those policies are then put into AirHub Portal, so that when they operate, they're operating within their own policies. So if you think about it, you have the federal, maybe before you fly in the LANCE rules and regulations.
Right.
Now the city or organization, anyone, whether it be UPS, might have their own policies. They can layer up another policy and set of data within their own organization that keeps within the federal policies, but then within the city's policies of how they fly operations within the city. So
and the state. I mean, California is no joke. I mean, they've got the California Consumer Privacy Act that can impact drone operations vis-a-vis what you're putting on the internet, the data collection and all of that. And, that there's a lot of nuances everywhere you go. And the fact that you can kind of sit down with their attorneys, local attorneys, the FAA attorneys, and work through that to help them stay compliant.
Within all the levels, you're right, the state and the county and the city and the operator, or the different groups, and we just align it all. And again, it's for their internal operational use, but it also aligns with the external as well to make sure, also as an operator, when I go to use before you fly, you can see more of the local data within Carson now, because that's another piece of our platform is we have a integration with Esri that allows communities to add extra data for awareness for operators of local data, which is pretty neat.
No, that is really neat. So we have a picture of, I think, your team maybe in a meeting. Looks like you guys are working through some things. Tell me about this. It looks like, I don't know what this looks like.
This is the old office.
Oh, the old office.
Yeah, this is it. That was a really cool office, but we are right downtown, and we could not easily have a drone ecosystem flying operations where we're at. So now we're in a much better spot. But that's looks like, yeah, we probably should, no, I'm kidding. That's our company meeting. We have a monthly company meeting or strategy session. So our that's our team. Nothing too special other than it's our old company.
No, it is special because you do have a monthly strategy session, and frankly, I don't know that a lot of companies can say that, Michael, and not just with you and Anna and your, one of your co-founders. In fact, I think we have a picture of the three of you. Let's pop that one up too. So many companies, when they're doing their strategy, will just take it to that C-suite, like that highest level group to nug through this. But the fact that you incorporate your entire staff or, large portions of it to nug through like the strategic direction of the company is, to me, like, hats off to your leadership on that. That's awesome. And, frankly, you guys have been thought leaders, I would say, in the space, because this framework you're talking about, levels 1 to 6, and 6 being air taxis, and we're not quite there yet. Again, not a lot of people are doing that, saying, here's the framework, here's the structure that needs to happen. And, you guys have a white paper on that. So I think we have a link to that white paper. We'll also get that out as well.
Okay,
that's
a
seminal document that you all put together and then build upon it.
Yeah.
With this Air Hub portal. So, let's just say, which I am, a drone pilot, and I want to use the Air Hub portal. How do I do that?
Well, one, you can get into the system by going to the FAA Before You Fly website. And as soon as you click in there, you're in our app. So you're in the app, it's free. You can click around. If you want to have a little bit more capability, save your operations, and you create an account, which is the FAA requires certain data. And the reason people are like, why you need my email and phone number? Because when you create an operation, that data is shared with the air traffic control tower. So you are actually communicating, and they have the ability to even call you if they have an issue with the drone in the area or need to shut down your operation. They can contact you. So there's a reason why you provide that information, because we are creating that connection into 733 airports, I think, today, that we're automating for you when you do that. So that's one of the easiest ways just to get into our system. What it is, as I talked about those personas, Before You Fly is free and fun. The Lance capability is free as well. And you can save your operations. It's when you start to move up to a manager, when you start to manage a fleet, or you want to manage it. People still use their personal accounts. We have some companies we look in there, hundreds of users from the same company. I'm like, don't they
why didn't you buy a license?
Yeah. Don't they want to know where the other operators are flying? And I'm like, no, they just need to check the box. But then if they do upgrade, there's a plethora of tools, and then you get into planning tools and reporting. And then for cities, it's interesting because as they start to get into COAs and different types of operational or policies and
Yeah.
capabilities. There's tools to help make sure that they stay compliant and for reporting. And it just keeps going. There's routing algorithms. There's area of operational approvals for BB loss that we've gotten supported. Matador and Swoop Arrow and UPS, and that's public information on those operational approvals. And then we'll have the system up here and running in Michigan and several cities around the country. So.
Well, I want to talk to you offline because next year at Law Tech Connect, we're going to do another State of the States. And I'd love for Michigan to be a part of that panel. Because by then, I mean, you're already doing a lot, but by then, maybe even rooftop things right off of your building. So that would be.
We have to. We are under contract. And just so you know, Exponential 2026 is in Detroit. So we are.
I knew that because they told me. I haven't really told anybody that. Yeah.
So we're working towards that as the kind of this. So it is exactly 2 years from now. I think it's May of 2026, and that's when the project, at least the next phase, is certain KPIs have to be hit.
Super cool. Well, I don't want to go on to like what you've got going the rest of this year and into the future. Before I clarify that we've covered everything you wanted to talk about with regard to AirHub Portal, some of your partnerships, the FlySafe program, Lance, and Before You Fly. Is there anything you wanted to kind of elaborate on that before we start talking about what's going forward?
I'd say pretty good. I think the biggest news is the Michigan Central and the Detroit Air is there's an opportunity if there's operators and OEMs and people that have sensor systems even that want to participate over the next couple of years. A lot of the budgets have been approved. We are building out this summer. It's called it's the 14th floor. It might be that it might change, but we're having a grand opening on June 6th. And that will be almost like an air traffic control tower where operators can operate. You can see, 6 miles in all directions. Sensor systems, operations center will be up there, and operators will be able to operate up there. So there's an opportunity to participate, and there's funding available too. So I think that gets me excited because it is expensive for operators right now. They're struggling, and to advance and go through the waiver process, and there might be some opportunities in private investment as well. So I just want to make sure people know that.
Support team 4, as in the number 4. Okay, awesome. So you guys heard it here first. I love to have first on the show. If you want to get involved in some of these operations, big ribbon cutting or big celebration on June 6th out there, reach out to Michael and his team, and they'll see if they can't get you involved. So that's super cool. So can you give me an analogy of what this will be like? I mean, I know you don't want to compare apples and oranges, but Michael, you know this, right? There's things going on in New York. There's things going on in North Dakota, right? With a whole there's corridors going up. There's infrastructure happening. Is that what you're talking about? Like a Detroit kind of equivalent of something of that scale and size?
Yes, I would say the difference is we are interviewing operators. We've gone through about 10 of them right now and asking them what they need. All of them are different. So almost building like an a la carte area and assets for them to leverage. You can use it if you want. You don't have to use it. It's being offered as a opportunity to leverage that a support system. And I'll get to some of the big ones, but there's the typical things. We have 6 teams involved. There's a hardware, communication networks, and radar and remote ID team. Kind of that infrastructure. There's the software and data team for supporting all the data that's required and the time on the network. There's a public relations team, government affairs.
Yes.
Yep. There's a community engagement team. And then one of my favorite ones that we have is a team dedicated to business and demand gen. So they are out there recruiting, in some cases paying customers that have billion-dollar problems that drones could provide a solution to.
Yeah.
And then that team pairs the operators with the customer and provides the concept of operations and almost like a project team to go make them successful. And as they become scalable, then that will scale. The state will help support the expansion of the system to where that customer wants to go. So that's kind of the big, why it's different is because it's not on testing. It is, we have customers that have real problems that need it solved. We'll fly in our visual line of sight while these networks and the waiver process and the time on the network is being done at the same time.
Well, I think that gumshoe approach of, out there pounding the pavement, you have, what are your problems? And oh, by the way, you don't even know that we can help you with this, but let me explain to you how this can be a benefit to what you're doing. I've heard some of the most interesting and weird use cases in the last couple of weeks that I wouldn't even honestly
it is crazy.
have thought of, and this is not going to be in Detroit, obviously, but I heard someone is using, they put collars on the bison and the buffalo at Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And they have a drone that's almost like a shock collar, but a humane one that if they're going to like all be running off of a cliff, they shock it and then theoretically, right, they go in a different direction because they like get startled and they move. And so again, just, the use cases, people don't know what they don't know. And I think crossing that Rubicon of just going out and talking to people and saying, hey, these are the amazing things that can happen. It's a great approach, really is super exciting that you're doing that. So that's this year, that's this summer, that will keep growing. We've only got a couple minutes left, Michael. So I want to make sure we're covering, where people can find you. You were just at Expo, I'm just going to assume you're going to be a commercial UAV in September. Of course you are. Actually, you're sponsoring our live stream from there with a full crew. So
I don't know.
Yeah, well, surprised you are. And
tell me where to go.
So you'll be there. And by the way, pretty sure, well, it's going to be our 4th annual Flash Mob networking happy hour on Labor Day. So make sure you're flying in on Labor Day. Hopefully partnering with Caresoft again on that. So that'll be super fun. Stay tuned for more. But what else do you have coming up and what can we look forward to? Number one. And number two, of course, how can people reach you to get involved in all of these projects you've got going on, including this newest one, and then, dig deeper into AirHub Portal?
Yeah. So let me split it maybe 3 things. Number one is our foundational system, AirHub Portal, for managing fleets and simple things like that, and APIing it into your existing software that you might have to measure. That's probably an area that we're just heads down on, making adjustments. We have so many, we're onboarding 300 new users per day on average right now. Like we are just jamming on that right now. So to support your operations, migrations, whatever that might be, that is a big focus for the next, say 8 months. And not going to stop, but like that, getting that motor going, the new system. Then we have second is our advanced systems, the routing and the BB waiver and telemetry integration and UTM. That is going on, a heavy lift on that with projects like Michigan and Texas and North Dakota and now a few others that are happening. So that's number 2. Number 3 is our partners. We say in our mission statement is for the safe integration into the national airspace and into communities through digital infrastructure and partnerships. And partnerships is really big now that we are onboarding so many operators in cities and communities. They want a lot of things we don't do, whether it be training or data collection or radar or remote ID. We have now built out a marketplace. And so we have a partner manager that is supporting partners that say, hey, we have a great product that we'd like to get in front of your, 50,000 pilots. That will add value. That adds value to our system because it makes it a little bit more sticky by bringing in partners that plug into the single pane of glass. So those are the 3 areas that we're focused on: is foundational, advanced, and then our partnerships that provide more value to our customers.
Well, that was a great summarization. And I assume those partnerships are 2 ways: people looking for solutions and also people with solutions looking for partners. Is that right, Michael? Your marketplace?
Yeah, Alaris Pro. Alaris Pro is a great example where we have fleet management and does certain things to a certain point, which is great. And then sometimes they need really deep aviation grade, what every propeller is and how long that propeller's been used, or this little piece.
Maintenance.
And then
Yeah.
we just port them into them, and then vice versa. We're API'd into Alaris Pro, so when you're using Alaris Pro, you're actually using Airspace Link too. So, wherever we're okay with sliding our customers in and out of the platform within our ecosystem, and that's a great partnership right there with Tony. He's got a great product, and we have a great integration together.
That's awesome. It's Tony Cucciarella, I believe you're
Yes.
mentioning
Yep.
there from Alaris Pro. Very cool. So how can they reach you, Michael? How can they find you?
LinkedIn is one way. Email is the best because I have someone that will help me make sure it doesn't slip through the crack. That's michael.healander@airspacelink.com. And you can always contact hello@airspacelink.com or our website. You'll make your way to me.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Last 30 seconds. The floor is yours, Michael, just to close us out, please.
Well, I think I'd just like to thank you, Don. You just do an incredible job. I don't need to talk about myself. I did plenty of that, but I appreciate what you do for our industry and our ecosystem and our company and our people. So people like to work with you. Colby's had a great time working with you, our marketing team. So thank you. That's how I wanted to end.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you everybody out there for watching. This is going to be a great month dedicated to safe and secure skies, just fresh off of the FAA's Drone Safety Day this past weekend, AUVSI Expo, and now moving forward into the summer months and better weather, we hope. Let's keep those skies safe and secure, and Airspace Link will help you do that. Everybody, thank you so much. We are out here.